This is my persuasive speech over gender bias in healthcare. So imagine you're in the grocery store. You're shopping, just minding your own business, and all of a sudden this huge commotion happens in front of you, and you realize that somebody went into cardiac arrest. You're trained in CPR, so you rush over, and then you see that this person is a woman. What do? Hopefully, you would proceed to give CPR, but unfortunately, the reality is not as simple as that. So, the purpose of this presentation, go to my introduction here. The purpose of this presentation is to raise awareness that women are discriminated against in the medical field and that everybody can be a part of changing this. So, women make up 50% of the population. It's a pretty big chunk. So, you either are a woman or you know multiple women. So, this really concerns everybody, and everybody should be aware of this. So, my three main points of how women are mainly discriminated against is particularly in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, pain management, and medical research. So, my first point is over cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So, Dr. Sarah M. Perman at the Department of Emergency Medicine and the Center for Women's Health Research at the University of Colorado of Medicine, so she's very highly qualified, argued she did a study where she asked multiple people, many people, why do you think women are less likely to receive CPR when they're in cardiac arrest in public? Because they are. That's a fact. They are less likely. And people had three main responses. So the first is the sexualization of women's bodies. So people were just afraid to give CPR to women, and also men were mainly afraid of sexual assault charges that could be given against them, even though they're trying to save someone's life. The second reason was that the assumption that women are frail. So people assume that women's bodies are weaker, so they don't want to give them CPR because they're afraid that they're going to break their rib or something. That's just not true. Giving them CPR could save their life, but instead people are hesitant because they think women are just frail. And then the third point is a misunderstanding of women in medical distress. People think that women are exaggerating. They don't realize that they're actually in cardiac arrest, dying, and need help. So, Alison Motlock, a freelance journalist who specializes in science and health, reported that a third of men worry about inappropriate touching when it comes to CPR. That's a lot of people who could be there to save your life, but instead they don't. And then she also reported that in 2024, 95%, so 2 years ago, 95% of CPR mannequins have male bodies. People don't know how to give CPR to women because CPR classes don't have women mannequins. That's a huge problem. So my second point is over pain management. So Mika Guzikvidis at the Hebrew University of Business School at the University of Jerusalem worked alongside multiple professors from medical schools around the world to give this report over the gender pain exaggeration bias. So what this is medical professionals, male and female, and people assume that women's pain is due to them being overly dramatic, overly emotional, and even hysterical. So people take their pain less seriously. And their report showed also that women are 10% less likely for their pain to be recorded by a nurse in the emergency room. That's a huge chunk. And that's a huge problem. That oftentimes, because men are seen as tough, if they're talking about pain, then they must really be in pain. But women are so emotional that, oh, we can't take her seriously. Like, that is going through doctors' minds, male and female doctors' minds. So the last point is over medical research. So all throughout history, the male body has been the body that, research has been behind. They've been researching the male body, not the female body. So Maria Loreto Figueroa and Lori A. Himstra, working at Faculty of Medicine at the University of Development and Sport Medicine at the University of Calgary, respectively, reported that there's a misconception that women are just smaller men. that their bodies operate the exact same, that they're just smaller men, so that we just give them a less dose of this and it should cure this. But that's really not true. Male and female bodies are completely different. So it is looking up, though. The future is bright for women, patients in the medical field. So they reported that in the World Economic Forum, they reported that E. Aaron Dewey at the University of Alabama reported that the World Economic Forum, that the gender gap will close in about 132 years. So they report with like how progress is going. They think that this will be fixed in 132 years, but this needs to be fixed much sooner than that. Part of the solution is getting more medical providers to be women. So as of right now in Canada, in the United States, women make up more than 50% of medical providers. So they understand women better. So that does help. So in conclusion, women are discriminated against in the medical field concerning CPR, pain management, and medical research. So the best way that this can be cured is by people being aware of it and taking steps to improve the situation. So as a bystander back into the situation, you see the woman on the floor in the store, give her CPR, save her life. She doesn't care about sexual assault. So don't be afraid to give CPR to women to save lives.